You are watching WPTV, award-winning college television.
Welcome back to the desk. We're in week 10 of the NFL season and here to discuss everything in professional football. We have Michael Milligan, Andy Gavin, Cole Jorvins, and AJ Tierney. Guys, the trade deadline came and went for the NFL. There's a lot of interesting moves. Michael, we'll start off with you. What trade will have the most impact?
Cooper, I actually think it's going to be the Mike Williams to the Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Steel City now. I understand that the Jets didn't get to really utilize him, so they sent him away for a fifth-round pick to the Steelers. But other than George Pickens, after that, it's Calvin Austin over there. So I think adding Williams, a nice physical, brute wide receiver there, is definitely the right move for them, and I think they're going to have the most impact, at least the first day one impact for out of every person in the NFL right now being traded.
Yeah. AJ.
I would say the Marshawn Lattimore trade to the Commanders. They traded a third, fourth, sixth-round pick for him. I think that was the most fairest trade they can get. I mean, it's going to benefit the Commanders in like a major way. They're 7-2. That defense finally got a true number one corner. But the defense is already 14th in the NFL league in total defense. I mean, they're 5th in pass defense and 28 in rush defense. But it's still a great benefit for the Commanders, and I think this is going to help them get a deep playoff run.
Yeah, they're already adding another piece to a dominant team right now. They're really good, so that's a good pickup for them.
Yeah.
Cole.
Yeah, Coop. I mean, I think Zadarius Smith to the Lions is a huge pickup. He leaves Cleveland. Cleveland's pretty much in the gutter at this point, but they lost Aiden Hutchinson, which was huge for them. That was probably double-digit sacks, probably 20 sacks this year, the way he was going for on pace. But Zadarius Smith had 5 sacks just last year. This year so far, he's at 5. So, and there's, like 8 games left? So I think Zadarius Smith's going to really pick it up for him.
Yeah. Andrew, finish off here.
I'm going to go with Baron Browning. It was kind of an under-radar trade to the Cardinals. He's, decent linebacker. But he was in Denver. Vance Joseph's not that good of a defensive coordinator. He can't develop talent. He's a great, defensive mind, but he cannot develop talent. Nick Rallis, defensive coordinator for the Cardinals, can really get Browning going. And he can be an overhang, kind of an edge rusher linebacker. He plays great zone defense. So it's interesting to see how he's going to come into that linebacker core.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, Andy. I mean, Baron Brown, I feel like he's a little bit more underrated for my Denver Broncos defense, but Vance Joseph, great defensive mind, but not somebody who can develop talent.
Yep. With the playoffs a long way away. However, there's a lot of teams that we don't expect to make the playoffs can still make the playoffs. Andy, I'll go over to you. What team will be a dark horse team that will make the playoffs?
I'm going to say the Los Angeles Rams. They're 4-4 in the NFC West. Their wide receiver core has been hurt. They were finally healthy last week. Then Puka Nacua decided to throw a punch, got ejected. But they have been, strangled with injuries. But you know what? They should have beat the Lions. They have a really good, defensive-minded coach and head coach, Sean McVay. Interesting to see what they can do in the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, honestly, I have to go with Chicago Bears. They're hovering right around that 500 mark right now, but I think they have the talent to really go and improve. They're a really tough division right now. They have the whole NFC North to go through: Lions, Packers, Vikings. So they're really trying to fight for a wild card spot. And I think they could probably squeak into that 7th spot. Roma Dunze, everyone's been doing well. Caleb Williams finally having a 4-touchdown game a couple of weeks back. So he has the talent. They just really got to execute more, especially on that defensive side, because, again, they're carrying over there, but offensive side needs to also pick up their weight.
Yeah, not a bad pick. AJ.
I would say the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, Kyler Murray right now, in my opinion, always been a top 15 quarterback. I mean, James Conner, a little bit underrated running back, and MHJ, Marvin Harris Jr. I mean, big name coming out of the draft, especially for that Cardinals team. I mean, when he really gets going, I mean, right now he's 28 receptions, 455 yards, and 5 TDs. I think like this half of the season now, he's gonna pick it up a little bit more, get close to the 1,000 mark, and he's a really talented rookie wide receiver, and they got Trey McBride. So I think in this team, they're in the tough division.
Yeah, Cole, take us through your team.
Yeah, I think the LA Chargers, I think they're finally a well-coached team. Jim Harbaugh's really brought a new culture into LA. He's really got Justin Herbert settled down, and looking at a newer system, he's able to use all of his tools in the toolbox, and the defense has finally turned a corner. They finally are playing to their full potential. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, they got a lot of good players on the back end as well. So I think this Charger team is a little overlooked out in the AFC West, and I think they can make a nice run.
Yeah. Gentlemen, the Kansas City Chiefs are currently the best team in the NFL. They are undefeated still. Cole, what is the reason behind their early success?
Well, the Chiefs began to evolve, right? The past 6 years, we've seen the Chiefs throw the ball quite a bit, and this year they're running the ball more. And they lost Isaiah Pacheco early on, and they ended up picking up Kareem Hunt, who back in his heyday was a Kansas City Chief and had great success there. But the Chiefs the past 6 years have been 23, 28, 27, 25, and 26 in rush offense. This year they're 13. So it's a new regime right now, and Andy Reid knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, the offense is just so good, and it's just very balanced so far this season. Andy, I'll go over to you.
I'm going to talk about their run defense. You have Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquill, Justin Reed, Chris Jones, great defensive weapons, studs in the league. And right now, they are allowing 83 rush yards a game to last year, their 113 rush yards a game. That is a 30-yard difference, and that is a game changer, especially when you're in the red zone, you're trying to run the ball. Their run defense is unstoppable. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches, hands down. He will go down right behind Bill Belichick. You can make that argument. And in their last 3 games, they've allowed 76 yards. And when they're playing away, they're allowing 67 yards on the run.
Yeah, Michael.
Honestly, gotta give it up to the coaching. Like Cole had said before, they changed their entire schema from being really pass-heavy to now really going to the run. But also, they play a really disciplined game. You're not seeing as many defensive penalties anymore. You're not seeing as many offsides or offensive, holdings or false start as much you used to now. Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, and Steve Spagnuolo really got these guys going. They're all playing all 4 quarters. When they're down, when they're up, they're never letting their foot off the gas or making sure their opponent is fearing them at all times.
Yeah, the coaching staff is really, really good with Andy Reid at the helm. AJ, finish us off here.
I got to say, the whole defense itself, Steve Spagnuolo has done a phenomenal job with this defense. I mean, this defense is keeping the offense in the game. They're winning games. They're undefeated because of this defense. Not only is their rush defense or pass defense, they're not allowing last-minute scores, and they're having the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands towards the end of the fourth quarter. So I would say it's definitely the Chiefs' defense in general.
Yep. The New York Jets have high hopes going into the season, but they still find themselves struggling in the middle of the AFC East. Michael, take us through the Jets' season stats.
Well, it really seems like they're going through a midseason crisis here. I mean, first of all, they have a 3-6 record. That ain't going to do anything too often. They're also 24th ranked offense overall. Defense, though, that's doing fine at 4th. Division replacement 2nd, so they're still in there, but they're also allowed 10 total turnovers on the offensive side of the football, especially with Malachi Corley just dropping out of the end zone. So, again, that's what we're looking at here with the New York Jets. It hasn't been so pretty for them for these reasons, too.
Yeah. AJ, I'll go over to you. What is the reason? Who is to blame, or what is to blame for the Jets' early woes?
I feel like it's not one specific player, but it's the whole team in general. I mean, this team is very talented. Rob Saleh had a really talented team. They fired him early. He needed to go. Do I think he should have stayed out to the season? Yes, but at the end of the day, everybody's got to be held accountable. I mean, it's bad play from defense and offense. And, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, there's times he throws great balls and there's times that he doesn't do so much. I mean, in general, this team, they can't get it going. I mean, the chemistry is not there, and now it's starting to pick up. I mean, they traded for Devontae Adams. They finally got Hassan Reddick back, and I mean, they're starting to show little results, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, communication's got to be your top priority, and the communication's not been that great so far. Cole, I'll go over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. The idea coming into this Aaron Rodgers Jets experiment was Aaron Rodgers is going to come to New York, win football games, and score points. And he's been very inconsistent with that through 9 games, and he hasn't really gotten the offense to click. And that was really what he was tasked to do. He sat out all last year with that injury, and he was supposed to really get these guys on the same page for when he got back, and I just haven't seen any progress. So for me, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Andrew, what's the issue with the Jets?
I'm going to go all the way up to the top. Woody Johnson is a terrible owner. He made these decisions with Rob Saleh. He made these decisions with Aaron Rodgers. He is at the helm. He is right alongside Joe Douglas. This has been awful. They'd have fired their coaching thinking that was the reason. Hasn't made a difference. They go out. They do what they need to do with Aaron Rodgers. They get Devontae Adams. We have not seen production. Yes, Adams has that 1 touchdown so far. But the past 10, 15 years, the reason they have been awful is because of decisions Woody Johnson has made. The Jets are crashing and burning. They're flying down from the sky. They are rocketing, and they're going to hit and explode. It is a terrible, terrible organization. from the top to the bottom, and you said their defense, that's the only thing that is successful.
Yeah, Michael, finish us off here.
Well, contrary to that little bit of point, I do have to blame the kind of the defense late game. So I'm telling you right now, the defense, if you're not sure if you're watching the Patriots versus Jets game, they were in that game, they were doing the entire thing, and towards the end, they don't play all 4 quarters of football. Kind of towards the end, they always fall apart a little bit, and they just don't know how to execute. You can blame it all on a bunch of other things. The defense just has to step up a little bit more. I understand they're really trying their hardest to try to carry this team, but your rushing defense has not been doing that well either. So we're kind of being ran through really hard right now, and that's a big thing with the New York Jets. So that's my reason for them.
Yeah, gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up here for this NFL segment. As always, don't forget to follow us at SportsDeskWP for updates and more. Join us in 2 weeks for more content. We would like to give a special thank you to all the cast and crew, and a big shout out to our wonderful studio manager, Al Clark. From Studio B in Hamilton Hall, and from everyone here at the desk, I'm Tyler Cooper, saying so long. See you on November 22nd here on WPTV.